Welcome, everybody. I want to start today by talking about the scam that Republicans have been running on Social Security. Social Security is arguably the most successful anti poverty program in American history, and especially because the math is just pointing to if Republicans really want to cut $2 to $2.5 trillion from the budget, they are going to have to look at Social Security because the math just doesn't make sense otherwise. Now, you would think that Social Security would be something both parties just agree on, but you would be very wrong. It would be a reasonable assumption, but you would be wrong. The Republican Party has been scheming for decades to destroy Social Security, of course, quietly, by telling seniors that they want to improve or add flexibility to or take control of Social Security. But what they really mean is let's privatize it, allow Wall Street to make a bunch of money off of it, and gamble with your retirement savings. And if you explain it the honest way, which is the way I just did that in the second explanation, it's not exactly going to convince seniors to vote for you or people approaching retirement age to vote for you. So I want to talk about the scam of Republican lying about Social Security, which they use to push privatization. So let's start with the lie. Republicans love to say Social Security is going broke. You've heard the scare tactics. Oh, the trust fund will run out by 2033. What they don't tell you when they use that talking point is that even if Congress did nothing, and I mean nothing, no changes at all, Social Security could still pay 77% of benefits after that date. Now, that's not ideal. We want it to pay 100% of benefits, but it's hardly bankruptcy to pay 77% of benefits indefinitely. Now, secondly, if we were to raise just a little bit the cap on Social Security, we fix almost all of the problem. Now, some people may not know this, and I don't want to patronize. I'm just going to explain. You only pay Social Security tax on part of your earnings, depending on how much you make. There's a cap at $160,000. So if you make $160,000, you pay Social Security tax on all of it. If you make $250,000, you pay Social Security tax only on that first 160. If you make $50 million, you pay Social Security tax only on that first 160. If we were to raise that cap, not even uncapping it, just raise it a little, raise it to 225,000 or 275, we fix almost all of the problem. Third, why is there a shortfall to begin with? Because Republicans have spent decades cutting taxes for billionaires instead of shoring up Social Security. So step one, sabotage the funding. Step two, say there's a crisis, which you created. Step three, put in place what you really want, which in this case is privatize the whole damn thing. Now, as a side note, this is the same thing they do with education. This is the same thing they do with the Postal Service. We've talked about it recently. Make the Postal Service crappy and then say, this thing sucks, let's privatize it. Make public education worse and then say, look at how bad this is. Let's get rid of the Department of Education. Let's push for religious private schools or whatever the case may be. Now, the whole point of this with Social Security, what they really want is to privatize it. This has been their dream really since the Reagan era. If they can hand your retirement savings to Wall Street, it's a win-win for them, okay? The hedge funds will make billions in fees. When the market inevitably crashes, regular people will be left holding the bag. It's sort of like Enron, but with grandma's egg money, for lack of a better term. George W. Bush tried this back in 2005. He pitched this as freedom and choice. Let's privatize it. Then you'll have freedom and you'll have choice. But even Republican voters were kind of like, wait a second, you want to risk my Social Security money on stocks, the very same stocks that have tanked my 401k. It was so unpopular that Bush temporarily shelved it. So here's kind of like a step-by-step breakdown of the scam. They create panic by saying Social Security is insolvent, and they ignore that they could easily fix it. Deal with the payroll tax cap, make some other small modifications. Second, come in with a solution. The solution is we will privatize and wrap it up in buzzwords like freedom and choice. We're going to modernize. We're going to bring the program into the 21st century. But what it means is handing your money to Wall Street so their donors from Wall Street can rake in profits and then blame the victim. This is a critical part on the tail end. When retirees lose everything in the next crash, Republicans will blame the government, Democrats. If only Democrats had let us deregulate more or earlier, none of this would have happened. What's amazing is how bold they are about it. You'll hear Republicans say, we have to have a conversation about Social Security. Okay. Then what they really want to do is dismantle it, but make it sound like we had a policy debate. We agreed. We had a conversation and we agreed. But of course, they already have their solution and it's a disaster. It's the sort of the political equivalent of saying, we need to have a conversation about your wallet. And then you take money from someone's wallet and you say, hey, we had a conversation, don't you remember? So the reality check we need is that Social Security is not a handout. It's your money. You paid into the program. You deserve to get out of it what you were promised. And gambling that on the stock market doesn't make any sense. And meanwhile, the same people that say Social Security is unsustainable will always vote for increasing the military budget by $100 billion. Now, this time around, some have come to believe that Doge, Elon Musk, Vivek Ramaswamy are going to cut military spending. They're really going to do it. I just don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it. So the next time that a Republican says, oh, we need to fix Social Security, just remember that they don't really want to fix it. They want to break it, sell off the pieces so that their buddies can make fees. And when it all comes crashing down, they'll blame the government and they'll blame Democrats and they will move on to their next scam. Do you ever feel like it's tough to stay focused? I've sometimes struggled with it, and Brain FM's focus music has really helped me find my groove. I used to think background music from Spotify or YouTube would help me focus, but I ended up distracted and then I'd start looking for better tracks that would actually help. Then I found Brain FM. It's not just another music app. It's really music designed for when you are trying to do deep work. It's science-backed. The modes can be for deep work or more creativity focus or motivation. They have a turbo mode designed to support ADHD brains. Brain FM's music works within minutes and it delivers results. A peer-reviewed study showed that Brain FM's music boosts attention, especially for people with ADHD tendencies. Brain FM's focus music is the only music made to support ADHD brains. And Brain FM is the only music app funded by the National Science Foundation because of their unique audio technology that changes the patterns in your brain. With Brain FM, I am locked in. The distractions go away. The productivity just happens. And my audience can try it for free for 30 days when you go to brain.fm/Pacman. The link is in the description.